All right, guys, so I know it's been a while since I had another video out. Basically, I just had a bunch of junk come up and I had to take care of it. I actually had video of me taking this cab off, jacking it up, stripping this frame all the way down, getting the motor and everything out. But what happened was I broke my phone and lost all that video. I couldn't get it back off. So basically where we're at is cab's off. I got this frame jacked up. You'll see it's up off the ground, and it's jacked up to the exact same height as that Dodge frame. So what's going to happen is I center lined right here with this board, and I measured everything back from there, and then I center lined on that frame with the board, and I'll measure everything back from center line front axle also. you have it, guys. There's your bed mounts right there. Cab mount, I'll have to drill a hole here and over there. We got that cab mount's in place. We got to cut the front one off and drill holes there. And then we'll have to drill a hole about right here. And then another one about right here, so on both sides. Alright guys, so I wanted to show you something before we got done. This cutting torch setup right here, that is called a acetylene and oxygen setup. The one I use is this here. I use propane and oxygen. And there's some, I don't know, some people like that. I personally like the propane and oxygen. The only difference with propane and oxygen is I tend to get about 3 oxygen tanks out of one of those propane tanks. And then this is a acetylene gauge right here. This is all acetylene hoses. The only difference is this is all acetylene. The only difference is this tip. That tip right there, you have to buy a tip made for propane. It's not very much, it's about $15. I like the propane because it tends to be easier to get your hands on. So just a tip, if you guys do decide to go to propane, a couple things I like, that propane's cleaner, but just keep in mind that acetylene is lighter than air. Propane is heavier than air. So you don't want to leave your propane on. It'll settle on the ground, then you'll be breathing it after a few minutes. But also remember, when you're using propane, on acetylene, the heat is actually closer to the tip. So acetylene, you're going to be real close. Where propane, you can get back a little bit. Alright guys, so we're getting through this one step at a time. In the next episode, I'm going to try to get the frame out. I'm going to pressure wash it and try to get it painted. There's still going to be some welding we got to do on it. Some minor stuff we got to finish up. We got to move the motor mounts back, so we'll probably have to put the cab on for now. Figure out how far we can move the motor back, take the cab back off, finish getting all the tanks and all that back on, all the lines back on. I'm not sure how far we'll get on all that for the next episode, but one step at a time we'll get through it. I'll get another episode out as soon as I can. Stick with me, it's going to be worth it in the end.